Hey, what's going on? My name's Jason. I hope you're all doing absolutely fantastic. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. That would be absolutely amazing. We're not recording on the FX6 today. We're recording on the A7 III because we're going to be talking about the A7 IV. A7 III was the biggest thing that happened to me in terms of filmmaking and in terms of this channel, specifically this channel, because I did have the D750, which is a photography-based camera. I am now a full-time freelancer videographer, and the A7 III helped me through that very first step, and I cannot wait for the A7 IV. So we're going to be talking about the A7 IV and what Alpha Rumors has actually said. There's a wild rumor out there when someone's saying the A7 IV is on my desk right now, 33 megapixel sensor, 4K 60, HD at 240 frames per second, 10 frames. We're going to be going through the rest of this, so stay tuned, and we're going to be talking about these leaked specs, and we're also going to be talking about what I would like to see in the A7 IV. Let's get it. Okay, so those leaked rumors have been there, and Sony Alpha Rumors has a guy that says this is pretty much on my table right now, 33 megapixels. Now, will it be 33 megapixels? Potentially, yeah, I do think so. We do have a current 24 megapixels in the A7 III. 33 megapixels is that extra bit of resolution, and potentially that will give it a higher resolution sensor, whether it's not a 6K anymore. Could it be a higher resolution sensor? Not 100% sure. That comes down to whatever Sony does. I think someone commented earlier that it was a 7K sensor. Yeah, is what it works out to be, but I'm not 100% sure on that mathematics. But 33 megapixels, 4K at 60 frames per second. Will we see more than 4K 60? I don't think so. It's really hard to say. I don't think Sony's going to be cannibalizing the A7S III or the A1 and bring out 4K 120. I do think they're going to be capped at 4K at 60 frames per second. Whether they do 2.7K at a higher resolution, like 120 frames per second, it really depends on what Sony want to do there. But cannibalization is one thing that Sony do not want to do as a business, so I don't think they'll do that. Will they have 10-bit codec in there? I 100% hope so. I do think there's going to be 10-bit in there. Whether it's going to be external recording through to the Ninja 5, I think that's probably going to be the case. I hope it's going to be internal, but it really depends on what they're going to be doing there. Will it be internal in a future firmware update? That could also be an option as well. Depends on what Sony do there. Now, in terms of stabilization, it does 5.5 stops of stabilization. Now, this currently has 5 stops of IBIS stabilization, and it's meant to have 0.5 extra with active stabilization. Now, active stable shot is really good feature in the newer Sony cameras like the A7S III and even the Sony ZV-E10. Even Sony ZV-E10 isn't exactly the greatest of vlogging cameras, but active stabilization does help just that little bit. But what do you guys think? Will there be something a little bit more improved IBIS? It really depends on if they're going to be using the same kind of IBIS technology in pretty much all their cameras. I honestly don't really mind the IBIS. It really depends on how I'm currently shooting. If you do want super stable shots, just get a gimbal. Simple as that. So when it comes to photography, it does say 10 frames per second bursts, which is, it's going to piss a lot of people off. That's not exactly much. The A7 III right now currently has 10 frames per second. I do think it's going to be a little bit more. It should be around about 12 to 15 frames per second, specifically because it will potentially have the CF Express Type A cards, which is the same as the Sony A7S III and the FX3. It'll be that dual slot system that you're able to use the same card in the same slot, sort of different cards in the same slot. So it should be that similar process there, but also it depends on the processor as well. So we would imagine it would have a slightly upgraded processor to be able to handle that, especially the touch screen. So apparently the old processor, you weren't able to get the new Sony menus and the touchscreen capabilities. So hopefully touchscreen capabilities will be there, and also that amazing flip screen. Now, a lot of people don't like that flip screen, especially photographers. It really depends on your personal style, shooting style, but the flip screen definitely does help. And I do feel like for photography, it probably actually is more advantageous in certain circumstances. But the flip screen would be a very good feature to have, especially the tally light on the screen. So the nice sort of square box around the screen, that would be great to know that you are recording, because I'm on the A7 III right now and I don't know if it's recording. Well, I hope it is. So yeah, even a tally light at the front, just like the Sony ZV-E10 and the FX3, how it's got a little red LED thing, that would be absolutely amazing to have in there. So what do you guys think? Comment below what you would actually really love to see in the A7 IV. I'm really interested to see what you think might be added to this new camera. Now, this new camera, I think some people are actually saying it was going to be costing like $2,500 US, which is, it's pretty damn expensive. I personally think it should be around like $2,200 US. Because of the price of the A7C. Now, the A7C is like a new entry-level full-frame camera, whereas the A7 IV should be that hybrid professional camera. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of videographers and photographers buying this camera, specifically professional. So for wedding photographers, you're going to absolutely love this camera because it's going to have some really nice fast autofocus, hopefully object tracking like the A7S III, with that obviously that new processor. So it'll be a really fantastic camera for professionals who do hybrid shooting. But anyway, we're almost at the Gold Coast. Let's smash out. Whoa, there's a lot of bounce through this mount. Hopefully this IBIS is working. Active steady shot would be quite nice in this situation. But we're almost at the Gold Coast. We're going to finish off this real estate thing, and then I've got a gig tonight as well. So yeah, we'll get back into the studio after this and before tonight's shoot. All right, let's go. Okay, so we are done and dusted. We just came back filming with Andrew Murphy with his real estates. Well, his real estate clients. We did a live feed there, and I think the place sold for $2.1 million, if I'm not mistaken, but that's insane. Real estate happens to be pretty hot right now in Queensland because we're the only place that's not really going too many lockdowns, and people are loving to live here. So houses are just going straight up, and yeah, the value is just incredible. But run and gun with the FX6 was really fantastic, but if I did have the A7 IV, that would be absolutely amazing because it's a much smaller device and just higher quality. But FX6 definitely does a job for my commercial stuff and run and gun stuff like I did today. But obviously, look at the size of the thing. I mean, to rig this out, you really need to rig it out to make it perform absolutely incredible. If it's too small, then you've got a whole bunch of problems and stuff that you need to work around. But if you did rig out an A7 III or A7 IV, whew, that thing would perform incredible. So I cannot wait for this thing to drop. But yeah, that's it from me, guys. If you found this video interesting, useful, exciting, whatever, give it a thumbs up. That would be absolutely amazing. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you already haven't. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, thanks for watching. Let's get it.